Once again, we're joined by Mr. Lloyd Strayhorn, and I'd like to thank you, sir, for joining us here on From the G-Man for another assessment of what we can expect heading into tomorrow night's presidential debate.
Well, thank you, G-Man, for having me back. And before we go with tomorrow's debate, let me digress back to the very first debate that took place on the 3rd of October of this month.
Okay.
And what happens is this. Astronumerically, I'm looking at the zodiac signs of the debaters. President Obama is a Leo 4 person. That is, he's born under the constellation of Leo, but numerically, he's born on the 4th date of the month in that sign. And conversely, Mitt Romney is born under the zodiac sign of Pisces, but numerically, he's born on the 12th day, and 1 + 2 = 3. So, if you look at the very first debate, it took place on the 3rd of the month. And with Mitt Romney born on the 12th, it came to me as no surprise. I would expect him to do well since he's in his element. October is one of his best months. 3 is one of his main numbers. So therefore, I would expect this. On the other side of it, though, one of the low points for Leos is the period of October. And not only that, numerically speaking, one of the stress numbers to the president's number of 4 is the number 3. So, yes, he was there, but he wasn't there in that sense. So it didn't kind of surprise me. But one thing I will give the president credit for, and that is the next day, at least he owned up to it. That, hey, guys, I wasn't at my best, versus some people who will sometimes try to pretend like it was no big deal and brush it off. So at least I give the man that kind of credit. Now we move forward to tomorrow's debate on October the 16th. Well, now there's going to be a complete change in the season because we're almost about to leave the zodiac sign of Libra and shortly right after move into the sign of Scorpio. And in this case, there's going to be a tremendous difference. So, for example, tomorrow's the 16th, but it is a 4 universal day. What do I mean? I took October the 16th and added it to 2012, and those numbers factored out to the single digit of a 4, which actually governs the president's numbers, which opposes the birth date of Governor Mitt Romney. So I would say that if he is not overly, shall we say, confident or cocky, and he understands this, that is Mitt Romney, he is likely to make a better impression. But if he is still on his high horse from the first debate, and people are like really plugging him into his ear, you got this, and he doesn't approach the second debate with an air of caution, I think he's going to be really surprised. However, if you look at the final and last debate that takes place on the 22nd, well, the 22nd adds up to a 4. In other words, 2 + 2 is 4, which matches the birth date of the President of the United States, who was born on the 4th of the month. Now, 4 is the opposition number to the 3, and 3 is the opposition number to the 4. So it's easy for me to understand that on the 3rd of October, the first presidential debate, that the president wasn't on, shall we say, top of his game. But then on the 22nd, there's going to be a question, was Mitt Romney on top of his game? As you see, each number has a number that is very friendly to it, numbers that are stressful to it, as well as periods that govern them. And in the case of President Obama, his key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, but his stress numbers are the 6, 8, and 3, which means the month that govern these are January, March, May, October, and December. So he was in one of his stress months, which is October. It was on a 3, which was one of his stress numbers. And, hey, it was his 20th wedding anniversary. I don't know whether he wanted to be there or whatever the case. His key or lucky numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. That means his best days are Sundays and Mondays and Wednesdays. And it means that his best months are February, June, July, August, and September. On the reverse side of it, his stress numbers are the 6, 8, and 3, which means that Fridays and Saturdays and Thursdays are not his best days. And the stress times of the year for him would be January, March, May, October, and December. So as we see right there, October is not one of his banner months. So it kind of came as no surprise that he didn't come out swinging or, as they say, really, duking it out with Mitt Romney. However, on the reverse side of the equation, Governor Mitt Romney's numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. His best days are Thursdays and Tuesdays and Fridays. And his best months are March, April, and May, followed by October, November, December. So this first debate took place in October, a month friendlier to Governor Mitt Romney than President Obama. And not only that, it took place on the 3rd, which matches his date of birth, which is the 12th of the month, because 1 + 2 is 3. And as I told you, that the opposition number to the 4, in addition to the 6 and the 8, happens to be the 3. So I think for that reason that it appeared like, hey, were you there? People were really questioning it or whatever the case. Now,
you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that debate where it had Admiral Stockdale and I believe he was Ross Perot's running mate. And he made that, he said, "Who am I? Why am I here?" It kind of had that like feel to it, you know what I mean?
In the scheme of things, people have to understand we all have better days than others, Gary. All right? It's like saying the sun shines every day. We know the sun don't shine every day. Some days it's going to be overcast, a little cloudy, some days a little stormy. So if the president didn't appear to be on top of his game, that's because, to me, as an astro-numerologist, his astrological and numerical components were at the bottom of the bell curve, where Governor Romney's was entering the top of the bell curve. And so it was obviously displayed. However, the gears are going to change because now things are changing. As of tomorrow, the 16th, it will be a 4 universal day. How did I do it? I simply added tomorrow's month, October, the day, the 16th, to the present year of 2012. And when you add all those numbers together to reduce them to one single digit, it adds up to a 4, which is friendlier now to President Obama, but becomes less friendlier to Governor Mitt Romney. And finally, next week, on the 22nd, well, that is President Obama's direct birth number, because he's born on the 4th, 2 + 2 is 4, where one of the direct numbers for the number 3, which is Mitt Romney's 12th birthday, 1 + 2 is 3, is the number 4. So I would say that the last debate would be equivalent to Mitt Romney's first debate in terms of President Obama winning it hands down.
Hands down, you say?
Yes, hands down. I don't even think there'll be a doubt as to who wins. Like they tried to with the vice president debate, try to say, well, maybe it was a little of this and a little of that. But, I think the predictions that were made in your interview was without question that it went to the more experienced, seasoned politician, in this case, Joe Biden.
Now, every sign has positive and negative characteristics. So I'm wondering, going into tomorrow night's debate, what are some of the negative aspects of these two men that they should guard against while taking part in tomorrow night's contest?
Well, with number threes take great pride in what they do. And it was obviously on the 3rd of October of this month that Mitt Romney did very well. So he has to be careful of false pride. You know how sometimes people gas you up, oh yeah, you're the best, and this, that, and the other, and you're going to kill them and knock them dead. Well, if he believes the hype, that may wind up being really to his disadvantage. In fact, instead of going in a more cocky, arrogant way, I would approach it by saying, listen, you won that one, but you really got to be on your P's and Q's the second and especially the third time around, because as the month draws nearer and we move into the sign of Scorpio, actually things will get better for the president, and especially with the last debate taking place on the 22nd of the month that matches him exactly. And then you got the moderator, Candy Krolik, who's a Capricorn, who's a number 8, and she likes to keep things tight, and she will for the most part. That you can believe. And as for the third debate, moderated by Bob Schieffer, who's a Pisces, February the 25th, he is the kind of person that asks those probing questions just like Martha Raddatz did. So that's going to be very, very interesting seeing the second one.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us regarding tomorrow night's debate, the candidates? or the presidential election as a whole heading into November?
Well, again, looking at it as a whole, I have to be struck by the fact of certain zodiac signs do not tend to dominate the White House. And the three zodiac signs in particular that does not tend to dominate the White House are Aries, Virgos, and Pisces. They are the least on the list. With Aries, there's only been 2 Aries presidents. With Virgos, there's only been 2 Virgo presidents. And I think with Pisces, there's only been about 3 or maybe 4 at the least. But they don't dominate. Majority of them falls under Aquarius with 5, Scorpio with 4 or 5, Cancers, and followed by Leos. They tend to dominate. There have been very few Sagittarius presidents also, although when Herman Cain was running, he was a Sagittarius born December the 13th. But even had he made it, I would have not hedged my bets with him, since Sagittarians don't tend to predominate the White House so much as Aquarians, Cancers, Scorpios, and Leos.
Okay, I understand that you got a very special announcement that you'd like to make.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'm glad to say that my numerology that I've been doing for many years is now going academic, is being taught at the City College of New York this Wednesday, the 17th. And it's going to be a 10-session course, 20 hours of the workshop. And if anybody wants to know more about it, they can go to www.cps.ccny.edu, find out about the course, sign up for the course, and even if you're outside the metropolitan New York City area, or tri-state area, I should say, it's going to be done live streaming. So this is something fascinating to bring such an ancient science into an academic arena like City College of New York.
Congratulations on that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If people would like to contact you, how can they go about doing that?
Well, they can call my toll-free number, which is 1-800-581-4401. That's 1-800-581-4401. Or better yet, they can always visit my website named after my best-selling book, numbersandyou.com.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Mr. Strayhorn. It's always a pleasure to get your insight and your predictions, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how we do. I think it's going to turn out pretty much in the order of the forecast.
Time will tell.
I can't tell you how much I'm honored, and kudos to all the good work you do by yourself. I mean, it's just amazing. It's really, really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time. Thank you, man.